For 5 years until he was caught, an unemployed man in his 20s living in Bakersfield, California, terrorized high school-age girls in multiple states across America. The man committed his crimes from his home on his computer using the internet to mostly target high school-age girls to extort sexual photographs from them. He went by many different anonymous online aliases to commit offenses, and the two aliases which were most notorious were Brian Kill and Purge of Maine. The unknown man behind these usernames was hard to catch, and Facebook had been investigating him for years in the hope of exposing his identity. In 2015, Facebook community pages such as The Purge of Maine, Purge Maine, and other similar names were created, which had sexually explicit photos of underage girls from the state of Maine uploaded to them who were victims of sextortion. These girls were threatened with violence and blackmail if they did not send sexually explicit photographs of themselves. Facebook kept removing the pages, but new ones kept cropping up, and a support page for the victims was created to try to help expose the person or persons responsible for creating the pages and sexually extorting their victims. In December 2015, the Brownsburg Police Department contacted the FBI asking for assistance with a cyber threat case involving a minor female who was a resident of Plainfield, Indiana. For approximately 16 months, Brian Kill, under different aliases on Facebook, communicated with the minor female to extort sexually explicit pictures from her. Her mother eventually intervened and refused to provide additional images. Because the mother refused, Brian Kill threatened to kill the minor female, her mother, her younger sister, and boyfriend. He also posted on Facebook that he intended to bomb Plainfield and Danville high schools, the shops at Perry Crossing, and Walmart in the Plainfield area. Brian Kill made more threats on Facebook. He stated he was going to slaughter an entire classroom. He further made threats to law enforcement, saying, "I will add a dozen dead police to my tally. Try me pigs, I will finish you off as well." Brian Kill also threatened school administrators and parents. He claimed he had homemade pipe bombs and guns in his possession. Brian Kill was making these threats from his room, 2,100 miles away from Indiana. In the interest of public safety, school administrators decided to close the Plainfield and Danville high schools, and the shops at Perry Crossing in Plainfield was also evacuated and closed until December 19, 2015. In response to the threats, Plainfield school administrators and law enforcement scheduled a community forum at the high school. More than 1,000 people attended. As part of his criminal tradecraft, Brian Kill used counterintelligence at the forum. He coerced a victim, whom he had been extorting for years, to attend the forum, take notes, and record law enforcement statements about the investigation into Brian Kill. Brian Kill then posted information about the forum to make it appear as though he lived among his victims and could harm them at any moment. Brian Kill also sexually exploited and threatened several other minor victims in Hendricks County and other cities in Indiana. When victims stopped complying with his demands, he posted sexually explicit images and videos that the victim had sent against their will and often threatened to kill them and their families. Local authorities working with Facebook eventually reached out to the FBI, and in 2017, significant movement in the case occurred. It was figured out that the anonymous individual behind the numerous different aliases committing the crimes was using a portable operating system which could run on a USB stick drive or disk called Tails, a security-focused Debian-based Linux distribution aimed at preserving privacy and anonymity. It connects to the internet exclusively through the anonymity network Tor, which is generally known as the dark web. Because of this, Brian Kill was hard to figure out and unmask, and in June 2017, the FBI posed as one of Brian Kill's victims who had been communicating with him from Michigan. They used an NIT, or Network Investigative Technique, which is essentially malware to phish information such as an IP address. Authorities embedded the NIT malware into a video file and, posing as Kill's current victim, sent Kill the infected file through a Dropbox link purporting it to be a sexually explicit video of the victim. It wasn't. Kill fell for the trap and opened up the video file. The authorities now had Kill's real IP address. After receiving the video, Kill then began sending messages to the family of the victim stating he was going to murder them and sent a screenshot of a knife. After acquiring Brian Kill's real IP address, the FBI found out where he lived, but the investigation wasn't over. Authorities had to obtain more evidence proving that the occupant of the house was indeed Brian Kill. This led to a covert operation that involved setting up a surveillance camera from a pole outside the house, as well as monitoring all incoming and outgoing internet traffic from the house. It wasn't long before enough evidence was accumulated that the authorities knew they had their man. Brian Kill was actually Buster Hernandez, a 26-year-old man from Bakersfield, California. Hernandez lived with his girlfriend and her grandmother. When his girlfriend went to work, Hernandez logged onto the Tor network and continued his nefarious activities. The man who said on Facebook back in 2016 that he would never be caught was arrested in August 2017 and taken into custody. He was charged with sexually exploiting a minor, threatening to use an explosive device, and threatening to kill, kidnap, or injure another person. Buster Hernandez was also found out by the FBI to be the user behind the Purge of Maine alias. On the 11th of August 2017, Buster Hernandez was extradited to Indiana. Buster Hernandez victimized no less than 375 victims from around the country and terrorized them using sexual extortion and threats of violence. In August 2017, the U.S. Attorney's Office of Southern Indiana announced the arrest of Buster Hernandez, aka Brian Kill. Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter gave a statement regarding the arrest.
Every keystroke, every image, every video that's sent or received is recorded forever. My gosh, I hope people hear that. Even for sick individuals like Brian Kill, I hate to even reference his name, thought he could hide under the cover of the dark web. Not with the expertise of the FBI in the United States of America. He did not hide. So is today the day, for those that are watching, that is your day? When you go to sleep and when you wake up, is today your day that we'll find out who you are? I certainly hope so. I couldn't be more proud to serve with the people that I'm standing with today, because I know that the level of sacrifice and commitment is absolutely the most significant part of who they are, but most importantly, what they represent. To the community of Brownsburg, Plainfield, specifically Plainfield, it doesn't sound like it was that long ago, and probably many people thought that since we were at a place where we couldn't do much more, we weren't doing anything. And by golly, nothing could be further from the truth. And unfortunately for me, I'm having those experiences all over Indiana right now. But nothing could be further from the truth. And we will do everything within our power, every single time, sometimes at personal expense. And I'm okay with that too. Number 3, to the victims, the young victims in Plainfield, in Indiana, in the Midwest, and around our country. My gosh, I hope you'll accept my sincerest apology. But also know that we will do everything within our power to help you always. We will always, always do what we can do to help you. To the moms and the dads, and to the teachers, and the administrators, and the business owners here in the city of Plainfield. You taught me a lot, very personally. You taught me a lot. You taught me a lot on that January day when I was able to stand with my dearest friend Jay Abbott in that auditorium of what happens when a community coalesces around each other. When you realize the value of human life and you realize the value of your day. That was an extraordinary moment in time for me to be able to look out into that full auditorium and experience that, even though at that time some of you were very angry with us. But again, you taught me a lot about human life, and I'm very, very grateful. And finally, to the unsung heroes. Jay referenced several of them from the FBI. Jennifer Barnes, Chris Carter, multiple FBI agents. Gee, many Christmas. The folks that work so tirelessly behind the scenes, knowing that they probably will not get the return that they give, but that's also something that they're willing to do. I'm very, very grateful. So from a very appreciative superintendent of the State Police in Indiana, I say thank you, and with my sincerest of gratitude, thanks and respect for those that I'm standing with today.
Buster Hernandez's original charges eventually extended to include 41 separate allegations, including the production of child sex abuse material, the coercion and enticement of minors, the receipt and distribution of child sex abuse material, the threatened use of explosive devices, extortion, threats to kill, kidnap, or injure other persons, witness tampering, obstruction of justice, and retaliation against a victim. He pled guilty to the 41 counts in February 2020. On the 12th of March 2021, Buster Hernandez was sentenced to 75 years in federal prison. He made a statement and said, "Reading the texts, I just can't believe that I'm the one who did it," seemingly choking up as he apologized. "But it was me who did it, and I take ownership of it." The federal judge said he is one of the most prolific sextortionists in American history.